Boop. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Monday sold video. I've got 16 sales to show you so y'all can see what is selling on eBay. First item is this is a lacrosse helmet. It is made by Cascade. Let's see, there it is. Cascade. These are kind of like a universal size. You're not going to find the size in them. If you do find the size in them, it's typically a special order type thing or specific, but for the most part, they're really adjustable. So a lot of them, or most of them, are going to be just kind of one size. So when you list them, you don't have to put in the specific size, or don't kill yourself trying to find the size. This model is a CPXR. It sold for $32.88 plus $15 shipping. I got this at the bins and I spent about, I would say, $3 on it. It took 1 month to sell. Next up, we have these vintage Nike Flight headphones, like old school kind of headphones. They took 5 days to sell. They sold for $15 and I got these at the bins, so I probably paid about 10 cents for them. Next up, we have a Condor tactical hat, camouflage hat. Condor, you can see it in there, so it's on the inside. This is a mesh vented hat. Condor actually sells for me pretty well when it comes to hats. For the bread and butter price for me, which is between $10 and $18. This sold for $15 and it took 10 days to sell. This here is a vintage, let's see, vintage Wrangler shirt. It's got an Aztec striped print, 90s colors. These are good keywords to put in your title. That's the older Wrangler tag in there. It's actually missing the size tag. So the way I would put the size in there is I wear large across the board in pretty much everything except for probably Hollister or something that runs really small. And I'll put the shirt up to me, and if it looks like it would fit me, that's the size that I'll put in the title and the description. Plus I also do hand measurements, and in all my descriptions I tell people to look at the hand measurements just to be sure, because it's used clothing. This is cotton. It's going to shrink over time, especially as old as this one is. This one took a little bit longer to sell. This one took 3 months. I listed it really high because it had a really nice pattern and the fact that it's a 90s Western shirt. So I initially listed it at 70. The market got a little bit flooded because of all the brush poppers that are getting really popular nowadays, which this one is not a brush popper. This one sold, I paid $10 for this, or $8, I'm sorry, and it sold for $38. It took 4 months to sell. One thing that you can tell with the brush popper, so this one's not a brush popper, it's just vintage, is you can see the pattern through here. And with the brush poppers, you're not typically going to see the pattern through there because they're much thicker. And a lot of times they'll actually put a different color on the inside because they're double layered. So on this, with it being striped and Aztec, you'll see like a blue or a red or a white second layer on the inside. That's one of the telltale signs that you got to have a brush popper, because they do kind of wear out with material wise and they'll get thinner with age. So anyhow, $8, $38, took 4 months to sell. Next up, this is a vintage Cutter and Buck polo. Cutter and Buck is not a good brand. They might have some outliers that do sell better, but all in all, I stay away from it. What sold me on it is the embroidery, which is the 2021 US Open Pebble Beach, Pebble Beach is a good golf course. The US Open is one of PGA's golf majors, and it's got the date on it, so I knew it was over 20 years old, which makes it vintage. It's got the cool 90s stripes to it. This sold for $20. I paid $3 for it. And it took 4 months to sell. Sorry, had an alarm go off. And it interrupted the phone call. Or not phone call, I'm sorry. Video. I'm all over the place. Alright, next up. These were listed for 1 month. They are Levi's 569s. Decent size, anything that's in the 30s, a combination of 30s. This is 3630. Is a good combination. You're always looking for the 30s because they're the ones that sell the most. They're the ones that are most popular. This is a nice dark wash. There are the loose fit, which is trendy right now. So if you got that tag that says loose fit, straight and loose fit, you can ask a little bit more than what they're going for. These go right now for about 20 to 25. 3 months ago they were going for 35, 45. I had them listed for 25. Somebody asked me if I would take less. I gave them a $20 offer. They took it at $20. 1 month to sell, and my buy cost was $3. This is one of my definite bread and butters. These are, let me find it. These are charcoal colored. So I wouldn't put gray on these. I would put charcoal because it's more of a charcoal colored softball pant. So gray charcoal, because they actually do come in a lighter gray, and the softball teams are going to be looking for the lighter gray or the charcoal gray to match the rest of their team. I get these in a wholesale lot. I typically pay less than $1 a pair for them. They're Nike, and these ones sold, I sell them between 10, well, I would say $8 because I will take offers for 8. Between $8 and $15 I sell them for, and they sell every once in a while. So these have been listed for well over a year, but I've probably sold 50, 60 pairs within a year, and I always get more, so they replenish all the time. Let's see. That pair specifically sold for $10.17. I don't know if I said that already. All right, next up we have. Oops, dropped something. All right, so this is an appliance part. This is a Cuisinart espresso maker. This is the Cuisinart DBM 8 burr, whatever. So this goes to an espresso maker. This is the grinder part that goes to it. I don't like to sell appliances all at once. I'd rather part them out because it's easier shipment, and I tend to make more money off of it. So this is for an espresso maker. Man, I'm really not talking about it. Anyhow, you put the coffee beans in the top so you get fresh grounds. The machine grinds the coffee, makes your espresso. So this took about 6 months to sell, and it sold for $16.19. $1 into it. Next, let's see right here. All right, this is a Columbia PFG shirt. It's like a vintage fishing shirt. It's a cream color, which is trendy right now. Cream is good, so I wouldn't put like beige or tan when it's on the lighter side like this. I would put cream. You could put both. You could put beige and cream, but cream is selling better right now. So here's the Columbia tag. It's a women's medium. You can tell it's a women because they'll button on the opposite side. It's a snap button. You want to put that in your title, and it's got a women's cut too. You can kind of tell like it tapers down on the sides. PFG tag on the back. I think it stands for, oh, it says right, professional fishing gear. So I would have guessed it right. It's vented. We want to put that in there. And that sold in 2 weeks for $18.88. My buy cost is $1 because I got it at the bins. Next up, this is another appliance part. This is a Black & Decker food processor. This is the top or lid. It has a chute that goes in here. I parted that out, and it has a working bowl that goes here. I also parted that out. This took 3 days to sell. My buy cost, the part, so like if I got 3 parts off of this, and the unit was $15, I'm gonna put my buy cost at $5 a piece. So I just divide it up. This is a Black & Decker Power Pro 2. $5 for the lid. It sold in 3 days for $18.88. You want to check these parts too. These little parts to make sure that they're not broken, because a lot of these food processors have safety mechanisms in them. So, and if they don't lock together and release every single safety mechanism, then the food processor won't work. So you got to make sure all those little pieces are intact. That's probably a big reason too why I sell so many parts and pieces like that, because they break really easy. Next up, vintage San Diego Padres foam finger or foam hand is another good keywords. San Diego Padres are our Major League Baseball team. I found this at the bins. I didn't look it up, I just picked it up. So it weighs almost nothing. I probably paid a dime for it. And it took 4 days to sell for an offer of $12. I think I listed it for $15. It didn't look like they were selling that well. And the sell-through rate actually wasn't that great on it. But I still sold it in like 3 or 4 days. So actually a pretty good sell for as quick as it sold. Should be an easy shipment too. All right, this is another food processor part. So interesting story with this one. This is a KitchenAid. This is from KitchenAid food processor. It is the, it doesn't even say what it is. It's just a KitchenAid food processor. There you go. Anyhow, it looks like I paid $3.50 for this part. I could not find any comps on the bowl with the red one. So the machine was the red one. I saw black, I saw gray, I saw white, and it was selling pretty well. The bowl itself was selling for $25, but I couldn't find any comps on the red one. So I priced it up since I was the only one selling it. So instead of selling it for $25, I listed this one at $40, and it sold at $40 in 2 days. And the same buyer bought the lid also. And I actually listed the lid up for $35, which I think the lid was going for only $20. And they ended up buying both because there was no other. So that's, if I'm the only one with the item, I'm gonna price it up. There was comps on the other colors. So I figured I can ask that plus what I did. It was about 30% more, and they both sold, and they sold within 2-3 days. So really good sale. Both combined sold for $70, and buy cost is $7. So great flip, really good flip. Be on the lookout for the KitchenAid food processors, especially the ones that are the red color. Apparently they are hard to find. So next up, we have, these are Sperry deck shoes or boat shoes. I used to do really well with Sperry's. This is what they look like. I used to do super well with these years ago. They used to sell super consistently for me for $25 up to $45 for these leather ones, because they also make them in canvas. And they have completely fallen off. They get on trend and people start realizing it, and then the market gets flooded. So these have actually been listed for 6 months. 6 months, and they ended up selling for $12. My buy cost says here that I got them for $1. It doesn't say where I got them, but that would take the bins out of it, because they would have been closer to $3 from the bins. So I probably got them at a yard sale or something like that. But Sperry's, this is what's sold. Don't buy them. I don't recommend them. There might be some outliers, material-wise or style-wise, but otherwise, unless you can find those outliers, I would not recommend Sperry. All right, and we have another appliance part. me find, there we go. Cuisinart Pro Custom 11. So this is not the working bowl like lid that the chute goes into it. This is like more of a cover because it's got a cap too, and the cap is loose. So if you do come across these and you list them and you don't have the cap, make sure that you have the lid cover, but not the center cap, because it does come with a center cap if you find this part by itself. So anyhow, this one took 2 weeks to sell. Buy cost was 50 cents, so I'm assuming I got this at the bins, and it sold for $15. All right. Last sale. This is bread and butter. Somebody actually paid me full price. This is a Volkswagen Beetle mesh trucker type hat snapback, and they paid full price, which is $18.88. I got it at the bins because it says here that I paid 25 cents for it. Any type of car, truck, vehicle type hat, I pick all these up, and they're not the ones that I sell in bulk lots. So this actually sold fairly quickly. Surprisingly, I would have assumed it would be more long tail, but it sold in 10 days for just under $20, 25 cents. And I wash all my hats and I just run them through a gentle cycle in our washing machine. I put it on cold so the cotton doesn't shrink. The ones that have the strap back, like the Velcro, I'll wash all those together with one like big towel, 1 or 2 big towels, because the Velcro will stick to this mesh stuff and it really tears it up. If it does tear up and you get a couple little snags in it, just find a good pair of scissors and just cut off the little snags. Unless it gets completely destroyed, then I either note it or maybe not sell it if it's not a nice enough hat. So actually, great sale. Much faster than I thought it was going to be. So that's all I got for you today. Appreciate you tuning in for the Monday sales, and we'll catch you next time. See y'all.